Is a couple of minutes early, but just figured I'd pop on and do a little chat here. It is the afternoon coffee talk. It is 3:27. I'm WESH 2 first warning meteorologist Eric Burris, and it is a toasty day, isn't it? It's at least a beautiful day. Here's a live look outside on our Tower Cam network. We're looking over along the shoreline of Brevard County. A pretty nice setup out there this afternoon. Not much to track across Central Florida. I will tell you that all said, done, the big story today's going to be the heat and the somewhat lack of shower and thunderstorm activity. We're looking at another nice and mainly quiet day. Lots going on over here at the Kennedy Space Center. Oh man, that tower cam's not working at the moment. Somebody has to restart the thing. There's Tavares checking in, seeing what's doing, and we're looking pretty nice there. Lake Eola, see what's doing across there. Look at downtown Orlando, so nice. Man, oh man. Daytona Beach, check over by you. Ah, that's lovely. And last but not least, let's pop over to New Smyrna Beach and see what's doing. Yeah, looks like a pretty nice day over at the beachside. So if you've got plans to head out after school, after work, I think that you're going to enjoy this stuff. Definitely looking good. I got the 5-minute observations back up, so that's fun. Checking in on live temperatures across town. It's 89 in Orlando now. It's 93 in Winter Haven. It's about 93 in Bithlo, 86 in Titusville, and 88 degrees in New Smyrna Beach. Our first warning, live Doppler radar, scanning around and is finding a few passing showers. Let's put this on loop, and you can see particularly down here in Brevard County, watching little clusters of rain kind of moving on in. Nothing strong, nothing severe, but a little bit of rainfall there. Let's come over here, see what's doing around the metro. I spy with my little eye, little pockets of heavier stuff there, out near the 429, and then down south of the metro, or at least south of downtown. Let me just put this on the live mode. Holden Heights, look at that, Lenox Boulevard, out near Sand Lake, there's LB McLeod. And then back over here toward like Pine Castle, Edgewood, that's out near the airport. Now, the good news is at the moment, not hearing of any like major delays or anything, but you can see there are 28 flight delays currently, though there's 147 flights that are on time. So looking pretty good indeed. A little bit of rain here or there. Let's pop up our Futurecast model and just kind of get an idea. 4, 5 o'clock, any of the rains that do develop will continue to kind of work off toward the west, we think. Not too bad. Through about 6, 7 o'clock or so, continuing to watch it. Same kind of areas, maybe some coastal showers here or there. But generally speaking, our forecast tonight is looking pretty nice. So when we talk about that forecast then, here's where we're at. This evening, a pretty quiet one. A few showers here or there. Temperatures kind of dropping into the upper 80s by 7 o'clock, mid 80s by 9 o'clock, and lower 80s by 11 o'clock. All right, so a pretty nice forecast for us. Let's go back to Futurecast and just peek in to see what's doing in tomorrow's forecast. All right, there's 7:30, 8 o'clock, looking good. Popcorning up a few teeny tiny showers, but that's it. Tomorrow looks to be a pretty dry day. And as a matter of fact, if we look at the rain chances the next couple of days, they're really quite low. And because of that, we're talking about warming temperatures. So take a look, Central Florida's certified most accurate 7-day forecast, and you'll see those rain chances staying low, temperatures building. Look at the forecast this weekend. 96 on Saturday, 97 on Sunday. That's boiling hot stuff, right? And then into next week, not only do we get those thunderstorms going, but next week could prove to be somewhat of an interesting week of weather. And when I say that, I only mean it because we could be talking about some tropical something or other. What's going on there, right? Yeah, don't worry. We've got you covered. We're going to be chatting about it. But before we get into that, let's just take a pause and say good morning to you. How are you? Good morning. Doesn't it always get hot before a storm? Yeah, I mean, I guess one could say that for sure. Yeah. Cindy, me too. Hope to be better by now. Oh man, I'm so sorry. Just feel better. Just feel better. Jamie's asking, looking good for the launch. Yeah, let me show the launch forecast, and then we can go to the tropics, okay? So we've got a couple of launches. We've got, of course, Crew 7, and then we've got a Starlink. But the forecast for both of them is looking good. And it looks like, by the way, I'm going to have a launch weather officer in my coverage for WESH 2 and Crew 7. And what's even cooler, if I'm honest with you, I'm going to have somebody, I think at 10:30 to chat with that is doing something for these launches that I've never spoken with. So tomorrow night, 10 through 11:30, we're going to have extended coverage on the Crew 7 mission, and then we'll have that overnight stuff, of course. But I'm going to be talking to some really interesting people for this. I'm very much looking forward to it. Okay. All right. That's that. Now let's talk about the tropics. Yeah. Oiga Vault. All right. So here's where we're at. We've got the remnants of Emily reorganizing, doing its thing. Gert basically done. Franklin there, Harold moving away, and then Invest 92. So Franklin is the big game in town, certainly, that we're tracking. When we look to Franklin, forecast from the National Hurricane Center, and this is the 11 o'clock advisory. The next update, at least the full advisory, will come out. It says 2 p.m. because that's a position update, but the next advisory will come out at 5 o'clock. But you can see, expected to become a hurricane well off of our east coast. Category 1, even Category 2. So this is going to be an interesting storm as it lifts to the north. The good news is that it's not expected to make landfall. The computer models are in pretty tight agreement that it'll be somewhere around Bermuda. This is the Carolina part of our pattern. We knew that there were going to be storm systems working up that eastern seaboard. This one stays off the shoreline, so that's great. But there's that. Now, that said, of course, the computer models are probably what some of y'all are here to see what's doing. And I get it. That's interesting stuff. So let's take a look at the raw computer forecast models, okay? So their bottom, like center of your screen, that purple dot, that's Franklin, okay? We'll go through time here. And Franklin's lifting to the north, kind of moving around, starting to develop there, right? That's Sunday, early morning. What is that? That's like 8 a.m., that kind of thing. But as that's happening, watch the Gulf of Mexico. All the models are showing something trying to get organized and work into like the kind of Big Bend area. The GFS super weak, so just kind of showing some unorganized moisture, and then it kind of lifts away. All right, so that's the latest GFS. Another storm off the East Coast, but no big concerns for us. All right, so that's the GFS. All right, let's switch over and let's look at the European. Lifting up Franklin. There it is, Franklin getting more and more organized. But a CAG develops over the Yucatan Peninsula and starts to lift to the north. That's 12Z, so that's like 8 a.m. on Wednesday morning of next week. Now, that fits the hurricane forecast we put out on March the 1st. Wouldn't that be interesting to see that play out? Right? Let's switch over to the Canadian. There's Franklin lifting to the north. There's that CAG. Now, of course, the Canadians got the CAG moving into like Southwest Florida. I think it's going to be further north. But I do think that we're looking at something kind of homegrown, kind of sneaking up on us. I mean, it's not going to sneak up on us because we've been talking about this part of the pattern since March. But nevertheless, there's something there that I do think is going to pop up next week. I don't think it's going to be big, thankfully, but I do think that there's going to be something for us to track. So just keep that in mind. Looking ahead to the forecast for next week as we're moistening up that rain chance, just know that that's a part of the pattern. All right, so particularly Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Interesting. Okay, other questions, comments, concerns? Brad, the Mets in Tampa haven't even mentioned anything tropical next week. Well, Brad, this is a part of the pattern that we've been discussing since March 1st with the dates. Yeah. Laura, we have a bunch of lawns tomorrow, so we have Friday off. We're moving. Mazel tov. I hope nothing but the best for you guys. Laura, I can't get over the name Gert. I know, sweet little Gert. Sweet little Gert. Sweet little Gert. Surprised we don't have a yellow bubble in the Gulf from the Hurricane Center. I mean, I could tell you, I wouldn't be surprised if that happens soon, just because we're starting to see more model consensus that a little CAG is going to try and develop. Steven says, give us a tropical storm, Eric. Look, we're going to do what we can try and do. That's all. Laura says, that fits yours and Jeremy's forecast. Yeah, it does. It does indeed. Jennifer says, I just showed my father-in-law the forecast for March. He thinks it's all intriguing. I agree. It's intriguing. Yeah. I got the go-ahead from my wife to look into solar. Who did you go with? Was it a smooth experience, and how long is the battery life? We went with Tesla. We got 3 batteries, and it'll last almost indefinitely as long as you scale down on the usage, right? Like for Ian, it lasted perfectly long, and as a matter of fact, by like 10 a.m., the batteries were recharged to 100%. The panels turned off. And I told the wife, like, turn on the washer, turn on the dryer. Like, we need to use that so that we can turn the panels back on. Otherwise, we're just wasting power. So, yeah. Oh, man. Yeah. Brad's asking, since the water is so warm, can this potential system get stronger than expected? You know, it needs more than just warm water. So I would say it's definitely something that we'll need to watch. So, yeah. All right. That's all. That's all. If it comes middle, West Coast, East Coast, feeling anything, it's just Kristen. We'll have to watch and see how this plays out. Yeah. Laura says, I've been thinking about it, just not on. You know, that's fine. Look, everybody's got to do their thing. That's all. Everybody's got to do their thing. I spent, and you could ask Chris Pierce this, I spent years looking into this before I did the solar thing. So totally get it. All right. All right. That's all I got. Any other questions, comments, concerns? Otherwise, this weekend's going to be hot. And then next week we'll get those thunderstorms, probably a little tropical something getting going there. All right. Sound good? Sound good. Chris says UCF over Kent State 128-0 or we riot. Go Knights, charge on, Chris. I'll take that score. All right. Be good. Be the sunshine in someone else's day. I'll see y'all tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. for Coffee Talk. It's going to be a long day tomorrow. I'm working a 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. schedule. Woof.